James Rogulski, and I am an English teacher at the vaunted Hendrick Hudson High School. I'll be speaking a little bit about myself, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit about the experience that your child shall have as a student in my class. First, I have 17 years experience as an English teacher, 2 at Wappinger's Central School District and 15 at Hendrick Hudson School District. I have a Bachelor of Arts in English and Education from Hofstra University. I have a MA in English Education from SUNY New Paltz as well. Here are my class procedures. All students must log in to class Google Meet, whether in school or from a remote location. All students must be in class online at the same time. Some students are in school, some are at home, and all must be together on the Google Meet. All of my assignments are posted on Schoology. All assignments are then collected, so your student will drop them, in the parlance of the digital world, in a Google Drive folder. This is a portfolio-style system of work aggregation. It makes it very simple for me to search all of the work that your student has completed for my class. All classes follow the educational principle of consistency and simplicity, which I believe to be quite apropos and of paramount importance in this strange digital world that we're living. The goal is to advance literacy and eloquence through exposure and response, both written and oral, to literature and media. All media is provided digitally through Schoology, so you find your assignments and you'll find all of the work and the media involved through Schoology. Much of the literature shall be voice recorded by me for consumption. I do accept late work. Depending on how late it is, it may incur a penalty. And perhaps most importantly, and most strangely, in the current pandemic reality that we have in school, I am a vociferous, that means loud and sometimes obnoxious, proponent of individual conferencing for writing. I encourage students to meet with me to discuss revision and editing. I will push for students to meet me outside of class on a Google Meet. I have met with seniors already after school and over the weekend regarding revision and editing for college essays, and as the classes are given, I would say, more weighty and longer and more formal writing assignments, I implore students to try to meet with me to go over their work. It's one of the best ways to get better at writing, to work through your writing with a professional. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, concerns, or want to discuss literature or film, please email to schedule a phone call. There's my email at the bottom of this slide. It's james.rogulski@henhudschools.org. Sorry, though, I will not discuss at the current moment politics or religion. Here's what my English 10 class will look like. The content is as follows. Students will be reading, following along, and discussing and writing about horror, thriller, short stories. That's what we're doing right now. Eventually, we'll make it to The Body by Stephen King, a phenomenal novella that was made into a classic film, Stand By Me. Night, a personal triumph tale by Elie Wiesel of surviving the Holocaust, a true story as well. Fences by August Wilson, a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, black playwright. And also another play, hopefully One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Dale Wasserman, a play that was adapted from Ken Kesey's amazing psychedelic novel from the 1960s. We'll be reading some poetry, some nonfiction narrative essays as well. Writing. I believe in making students write in all forms, so that means analytically, that's classically, you're writing your English essay or your analysis paragraphs, but also creatively and journalistically. For my seniors, in the short story, we'll be reading and discussing and writing about stories by Tim O'Brien, particularly from his novel The Things They Carried. Flannery O'Connor, Ernest Hemingway, James Joyce, Tobias Wolff, Graham Greene, and hopefully more. A lot of heavy hitters there. I spare no excellence in my choice for literature. Also Raymond Carver, off the top of my head, Donald Barthelme, Sherman Alexie, just absolutely outstanding writers. Also, weekly, we have a poet is highlighted. So students will be reading and responding to the poetry of some titans of English language poetry. W.B. Yeats, Dorothy Parker, Billy Collins, Louise Gluck, our current Nobel Prize winner in literature. Mark Strand, Lucille Clifton, E.E. Cummings, Robert Frost, Mary Oliver, probably Charles Bukowski, hopefully as many as humanly possible. So what is the class comprised of? Every piece of literature that we read, students must respond in writing initially for 7 minutes. And after that response, we have a class discussion on the work where they are implored to add to their journal response. Also, for each poet, they have a weekly poetry response due. They can write an emulation, so their own poem in the style of the poet. An analysis must be 1 page in length and include citations from the poetry. Or they can write a critique also. They must include citations from the poetry. All the short stories, they'll have to either involve themselves in some analytical writing, some classic question answering. Also, sometimes students will engage themselves in synthesis writing, so writing about multiple stories that we've read and combining ideas from the multiple stories together. And there will be a final project in short story. They can either create a poetry compendium, write their own short story, or write a classical analysis paper. And finally, my baby, short literary works. Short literary works is a true English elective. This class is all about exposure, written response, and discussion to excellent media. There is no homework or large assignments in the class. It's all about being exposed to more great works of art. So we read, we watch, we listen, and we create in class. Students must keep a response journal. So anything they're exposed to, they have to respond to in writing. And their grade is largely comprised of their class participation and their journal responses to whatever we go over in class. And pretty much what students will be exposed to in class is comprised of the following works by respected and lauded artists. There is, again, all heavyweights. There's nothing lightweight in this class. Short stories, both classical and classic and modern, essays, articles, poetry, film, music, and art. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening and watching. If you have any questions, please contact me. Good luck out there, and be safe. It seems as if it is going to be a long and strange winter ahead.